You ready? You got me running. Shake it, shake that. Raise your hands up. Raise them out.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Monday, the 27th of September. And this is episode 383 of the Currency Call. And if it is your first time here, a big welcome to the Daily Currency Call with Forex Trading Asia. A quick introduction to the new viewers as well. We do this currency call every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. GMT +8. And how we analyze the currency goes as follows. So on Monday, it's the Aussie and Kiwi. Tuesday, Euro. Wednesday, Pound. Thursday, Yen and Gold. And then on Fridays, we do the CAD and crypto, specifically Ethereum and Bitcoin. So this is the currency call where you'll get market economic updates, the key support and resistance levels as well, trade ideas, and of course, much more. This currency call is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and the short-term traders. So here we will go through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and we'll also highlight the potential targets and risks. A disclaimer as well, which is very important. Please understand that any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Now, also additionally, I just ask, as Jin mentioned in the chat there, could everyone just please share the Zoom call as well? And just, if you do know anyone that might not be on social media a lot, feel free to send them through the link as well, because it's a very, valuable resource as well. And it's a unique opportunity for anyone that's in the markets or looking to learn to actually hear from, professionals, and of course, Jin as well with, how things are looking and positioning for potential trade ideas as well. So, and also just understand something as a new skill set too, which I think is something, well worth pursuing given the current situation with COVID, especially in Australia as well with the lockdowns. But anyway, guys, so it is Monday morning for us here in Perth and also in Singapore. So I'm just going to jump into firstly the US dollar index here. And what I'll do, guys, I'll just get to the charts here, thanks to Sam Trade. All right, so US dollar index, I've got the 1 hour time frame up here just to give a feel on the situation from an intraday perspective. So we did actually gap down very slightly at the open, which was a few hours ago now, and we've been pretty sideways and flat. And honestly, what we are seeing is a little bit of a risk on sentiment. And I'm referring to what we're seeing in the Aussie equity markets as well. We are back up a little bit as well. And we do have, and we've discussed this with the Evergrande situation. And, the media really went with a bit of a scare tactic as well. Although, if you approach it from a developed sort of, democracy type country, then it was fair. But, China deals with things a little bit differently. And we're seeing the markets, they did have a pullback early last week, but we are seeing things normalize a little bit. Now, from a US index perspective, even though we are seeing signs that it is, somewhat a little bit overboard and it just is, not really wanting to push higher, we've just got to refer to what's going on from a fundamental perspective. And I wrote about this on Saturday morning we've got some interesting situations still present with the US Congress, with the US debt ceiling. And then we've also got how will that affect the Fed on tapering. So, because there's not a lot of agreement between the Democrats and the Republicans in the US. But again, you put this all together and it's not a clear, narrative on how this is going to go. But there's definitely still more upside. And just to quickly touch base on the news for today as well, just with the economic calendar too, thanks to Forex Trading Asia. So we do have a little bit of news for the US. We've got core durable goods orders. We've got durable goods orders. And then the FOMC members that are speaking is, not typically very, eventful, to be honest. And there's probably not a lot of news here to push this US dollar through to what we've seen recently, which was over 93.70 to 93.50. I don't really see that happening. And we did discuss last week about the GDP. That could be interesting for the US, and that's coming out on Thursday night at 8:30 GMT plus 8. And again, we just have to wait and see. To be honest, I think all of it's going to be pretty neutral. So we want to refer to the other currency pairs, really. I mean, the Aussie dollar in focus today and the Kiwi, especially the Aussie, is quite interesting with how it's actually got retail sales tomorrow. But I won't get into that now. We do have Jin here, multi-million-dollar trader with LCMS Traders. He'll just be sharing his thoughts on the Aussie and the Kiwi, and specifically the news to actually pay attention to that will help move prices as well, which is very important. So over to you now, Jin.
Thanks for that, Scott. So just before I get on to the Aussie and the Kiwi dollar, one reason why I want to throw this in before that is we were just talking before this call, and Kim Hong was just complaining, whinging, going on and on and on about how it's a quiet week. It is the last week of September. We are heading into November, into October, towards the end of the year now. Usually what happens at the end of the month, the last week of the month, it is usually a little bit quiet, but this is also the chance to take advantage to plan for the start of the month, right? I'm always looking forward to the start of the month where we do see more news, more data to be released. We have had last week a lot of central bankers speaking and giving their views of the markets already. So putting all that, whatever they have said, together with the data that's to be released next week, I think that we are priming up towards more volatility, despite this week being a little bit of a breather. With that said, one of the things that looking at the names here, most of you are Traders Club members. Do take note, tonight I will be on the coaching call at 8 o'clock tonight. So I will be running a coaching call. I'll be guiding you through some troubleshooting ways. I'll be looking through your trades. I'll be looking through maybe some profits or some losses that you've made and try to make sense of it so that we can take your trading to the next level. So put that in your calendar, mark it down, 8 o'clock. Traders Club, I will be posting it into the platform as well, just as a reminder for you. If you're not already on the Traders Club, the link is going there up in the chat, guys. Please help me post it. And then we will be, there is a 1 month free trial, so make sure you jump onto that as well. You can get on, no commitments at all. With that said, let's look into the news. Here again, ForexTradingAsia.com, looking at the economic calendar. Why we say it's a quiet week, despite a lot of news to be released, it is relatively quiet, but it also might make it quite easy to trade for this week. Why I say that, you can see today being Monday, with the Aussie and the Kiwi in focus, the Euro is not going to do too much here. With the US core durable goods and durable goods news to be released, you can see a little bit of a mixed news, right? Durable goods looking to go from a minus 0.1 to a 0.7. So it looks like it could be good news here. But core durable goods month on month looking to drop slightly from a 0.8 to a 0.5. So we might see a bit of a mixed bag here. Following on from that, so not a big change in the US dollar expected here. Following on from that, we do have, again, central bank members speaking. We have retail sales for Australia coming out at a minus 2.5, expected to be a minus 2.5% month on month. If that does come out, and usually the retail sales number doesn't come out as expected, it does have a bit more volatility there. I think that we might see some downside to the Aussie dollar because of this news early tomorrow morning. And then as we look through consumer confidence from 113 to 114, not a big change. We got Fed Powell speaking, testifying on 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. So usually that does have some volatility. I think that with this, we might see some dollar strength being applied on Tuesday night, late Tuesday night. Following on from that, Wednesday, pound, I'll tell you more about the pound dollar on Wednesday. Governor Bailey speaking, Chair Powell speaking as well again, also testifying also with that. And look at that, Kuroda speaking, Lagarde speaking. Wednesday night is going to be that big volatility night, right? With that, we also do have our live trading on Wednesday night, so make sure you turn up for that. I'll give you more info as we trade that live together. On Thursday, New Zealand building consensus doesn't usually move prices too much at this point. Business confidence as well does not usually move prices, but look at this. The Chinese data usually doesn't do too much across the board, but the Chinese data does have some influence on the Aussie prices, the price of the Aussie dollar. So manufacturing PMI looking to stabilize at about a 50, still in a slightly expansionary phase, but we all know what's been happening with the markets in China. I think that we might actually see it drop slightly below that 50 number, like what the Caixin manufacturing PMI is indicating. We might see it go to about a 49. So with that, if the China PMI does drop, we could again expect some weakness on the Aussie dollar. Following from that, I'll tell you more about the pound on Wednesday. US GDP numbers on Thursday night, looking to stay quarter on quarter, looking to stay at 6.6%, right? Following on with the jobless claims, looking at a 328. With all that put together, I think that later into the week, as we head into October, with the GDP looking at a 6.6% for the US, again, I think with that consistency, we might see some strength for the US dollar at that point. And then on Friday, the Chinese is on holiday. We have the Aussie manufacturing index. Again, does not move prices too much, I believe. Following on from that, more US data, but not big numbers. Pay attention to the manufacturing PMI, the ISM manufacturing PMI numbers here, looking to go from a 59.9 to a 59.5. Not a big change here, but still well in the expansionary phase. So what you should gather here is, I mean, my view is that we might see some weakness for the Aussie dollar. And with the data to be released or projected data from the US, looking like it might have some stability. I don't think we're going to see extraordinary good numbers from the US. I think we might see some stability in terms of the US data that might give some strength to the dollar. So putting that all together, what it means on the charts here is the Aussie dollar on the H4 time frame. When I last spoke about it last week, I was anticipating that if it does break below this point, we could see it go lower at this level. It's void already because it hasn't broken. What we could see now is that, I'll move this away first. What we could see now is that it's been supported at this 7233 level. What I'm looking for is for it to now slowly move up, just because it's bouncing off, just because it looks like it's a bit of a profit-taking move, it's a bit of a retracement at this point, some dollar weakness still being applied, but with the Aussie news coming out, with possibly weaker Aussie dollar, with the stability in the dollar, in the US dollar data being released, I think that we could see it track back down and test that 7233 support level again. So what you should be looking out for at this point is like what happened late last week. I'm looking for it to test that 7316 level and reject. So you should be looking to sell below 7291, a very tight stop loss of about 30 pips, a good take profit level of about 60 pips. You're still looking at a almost 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the downside, back towards the 7233 support level. I think that at this point, there will be a little bit more to wait for the Aussie dollar. A lot of patience required, but I'll be looking to sell below that point. Before that, don't do anything. I think that even if it does track up towards that 7391 0.95 level. If it does track upwards, it would be actually a better opportunity to look for selling opportunities rather than to try and trade up and then back down again. With that said about the Aussie dollar, looking at the Kiwi dollar here, we've seen it consolidate. We thought it was going to break lower. It hasn't done that at this point. Again, I think similar to the Aussie dollar, I think it might track back up a little bit before, track back up a little bit before, I'm moving my chart instead, before moving back down again. So what you should be looking for here at this point is almost the same pattern as the Aussie dollar, but what we have here is possibly a better selling opportunity as it reacts to that resistance level, same as what it did late last week. We could be looking for selling opportunities below 7056. You would have a 40 pip stop loss for first an 80 pip take profit level, or even a 120 pip take profit level towards the downside. So what you're looking for here is an possibly setup which could get you a 1:2 or 1:3 risk reward ratio towards the downside for the Kiwi dollar. So quite a few things to look forward to at this point, not just for the Aussie and the Kiwi dollar. We do see a lot of other trading opportunities across the board, but I'll share more with you in detail as we look towards the coaching call tonight, and also take advantage of this as a setup towards next week with more trading opportunities. With that, I'll pass it back to you, Scott.
All right, thanks for that, Jin. And just a quick recap as well, just in the chat here, guys, and I strongly encourage you, there is a link here that John Wee posted about the 1 month free trial. So please click that link, do yourself a favor, especially if you are someone that's looking to understand how to learn to trade the Forex markets. You really, I mean, that's just a no-brainer to take advantage of that. We've also got some resources as well. We've got Jin's updated website, so take advantage of the free material and resources to help your trading. And we've got the Aussie dollar sell trade idea, and I will update in the traders chat, in the trading floor chat, the New Zealand dollar idea as well. Just a quick, I guess a note to take is that the ideas that are shared, you really want to watch the trade ideas in the YouTube video updates. So don't just sort of take the trade, you've got to sort of understand the context as well, because it's a very dynamic situation currently as well. So I would just say, please don't just sort of jump into that trade. If it hits it, you want to sort of have your timing, wait for when we mention the news, and play the correct flow of things instead of just sort of jumping in and being a little disappointed if you haven't quite correctly, listened to what we're actually talking about in regards to the news to pay attention to. But up next now with Trade Idea on the Aussie Swiss is currency strategist Kim Hong, and he'll just be going through his thoughts on the possible trade idea in the Aussie Swiss. So over to you now, Kim Hong.
All right, thank you, Scott. Happy Monday, everyone. Okay, it's a bit boring today, which is why I'm talking about trade idea. Okay, let's jump in. Aussie francs, dovish tapering weakened the Australian dollar. Okay, so this trade idea was fired out on the 8th of September. Okay, based on the fundamentals that the Reserve Bank of Australia had carried out a dovish tapering, right? So, they tapered from 5 to 4 billion Australian dollar, okay? But the thing is, they actually extended their QE duration from 2 months to at least 5 months, okay? So, QE, instead of ending in early November, okay, it may actually end, it will, depends on how you see it, okay? So they extended to February 2022 at least, okay? So it may actually go beyond February 2022, okay? But it will definitely not be before February 2022, all right? Okay, so because of that, the Australian dollar actually weakened across the board, right? It weakened across the board and actually forms my, fundamental bias, okay? That the Australian dollar will be weak, okay, against the Swiss francs. As you guys know, Swiss francs is a safe haven currencies, right? So in times of uncertainty, you know, in times of let's say dovish tone sent out by the central bank, okay, you know, market participants are likely going to you know, move from the riskier currencies like the Aussie over to safe haven currencies like the Switzerland francs. Okay, so because of that, yeah, that's the main reason actually. So because of that, I actually have a sell stop, okay, below the 0.675 level. Okay, well, at 0.675, this green dotted line that you guys are seeing right now. Okay, so yes, it's actually based on the daily time frame. So I actually have a 0.68 handle, which I would consider that as a strong resistance. Okay, why is that the case? As you guys can see over here, okay, I think back in July, okay, around mid-July, I would say, all right, it broke below 0.68 handle, okay, and it went back up for, I mean, like 2 or 3 days, okay, and tested, but it failed to break above, and then it come back down, right? Came back down. And then on the, I think it's August 11, okay, it went back up again to test the handle, and then it failed. It came back down again, right? And then early September, is it early September, this candle over here? Yeah, September 3rd, it actually tested the 0.68 level again, okay? Guess what? It came back down again, right? So overall, this level is actually very strong, personally, all right? Which is why I, you know, set a sell stop order at 675. Then it got triggered on this vertical green dotted line on the 9th of, yeah, I think it was 1 day after the trade idea was being sent out, okay? So right now, okay, I would say it's actually hovering, right? Hovering around the entry level, okay? So it actually went down, but it came back up. So personally, okay, as of right now, if you ask me, what's my view on this trade idea, all right? Yeah, currently it's making, I think, some like 10 pips or so. But personally, I feel that Aussie francs is likely to go down further, okay? Well, dovish tapering from the central bank, that's one of the reasons, okay, why I feel that Aussie francs will continue to go down. Second reason, okay, the Evergrande saga, okay, so last Thursday, they were supposed to pay out their, what's that called again, interest to bondholders, okay, I think it's for some US bond, okay, US bonds or something like that. So up to now, they haven't actually paid back the interest to the debtors, okay? So right now, they are actually undergoing some 30 days of grace period, all right? So they are still safe, okay? They are still safe as long as they pay within this period of, within this grace period, okay? Now, if they are not going to pay, you know, within this grace period, then it's going to get from bad to worse, all right? And another thing is that this Wednesday, they actually have another interest payment due, okay, also on a US bond, all right? Personally, I feel like this is a snowballing event, all right? It just snowballs from one debt to another debt, all right? So personally, you know, okay, whether or not this Evergrande is going to default on their whole bond interest payment, or, you know, it's going to collapse like Lehman. Personally, I think it's too early. I think it's still early to tell. All right, I personally don't really have a bias towards, you know, whether or not Evergrande is going to fail like Lehman did, right? But okay, remember, in times of uncertainty, like I just mentioned earlier, you know, on the Swiss francs, right? In times of uncertainty, you know, market participants are going to go for safe haven currencies or assets, you know, like gold, like, you know, in this case, Swiss francs, right? Which is why my bias is that Aussie francs will carry on to go down, all right? That's the second reason. Now, third reason, like what Jean has mentioned, the Chinese PMI data are due in the next few days, right? And we have seen from the forecast that from the Caixin PMI data, they're actually expecting further contraction for another month, all right? So, I mean, that will actually have a direct impact on the Australian dollar, okay? If the data comes out at least as bad as forecasted, all right, then, you know, Australian dollar is likely going to take a hit for the time being, okay? But I personally feel that, you know, the major events over here is the Evergrande event, the Evergrande saga, okay? And yeah, as you can see, you know, technically speaking, this 0.68 handle is strong, okay? So with that, I feel that, yeah, I mean, apart from feeling that this whole Aussie franc trade idea is going to go down, okay, personally, I will still pay attention to the Evergrande saga, okay, because things happen, right? If let's say in a scenario whereby I know for some reason, I don't know how the company is going to raise that 85 or $83.5 million for the interest payment that was supposed to be due last Thursday, okay, in the case whereby they managed to raise the fund, okay, and pay back the debtors, okay, the bond holders, then, you know, that will definitely lead to a lower chance of the company defaulting, right? I mean, the company is unlikely going to collapse if they can actually manage to pay off the debts. Now, that will actually lead to a more, I would say, optimistic view coming from the market, okay? Then it is likely that Aussie francs will be going the other way around, okay? That will be going up, the direction that I wouldn't want to see it go, right? And because of that, I may, okay, this time around, I may actually end the trade before it actually hits stop loss, all right? So if for Traders Club members out there, you know, just pay attention to the EchoFin platform or the Facebook group, okay? Because if anything were to, if there's a change of events and things like that, you know, and in a scenario whereby I close this trade for a loss, I will be notifying you guys on the platform, okay? So I've come to the end of my trade idea sharing, all right? So yeah, I will hand it back to Scott for now, all right? Thank you.
Thanks for that, Kim Hong, as well. And again, guys, like Kim Hong mentioned at the end there, in the Market Watch section, that is where the ongoing trade management is discussed as well. So if you're wondering, you know, how do I sort of understand, you know, what is going on once the trade is taken, I would strongly recommend getting into the club, using the link that's been shared as well. That last link there, use that one, guys, get in and just really, you know, ask questions if you require, and we're happy to help. Now, just finally, Daniel isn't in today, but Jin is just going to run us through. He actually will be taking the call tonight, which is very exciting as well. And I strongly recommend the members of the LCMS Traders Club to get onto the call and really, you know, take full advantage of what will be discussed tonight as well. So just before we end the call, just to go in a little bit of detail about what that involves. You might be watching for the first time and you might be thinking, what is the live trading call on Monday night? And what's the Traders Club about? Jim will just be, you know, going through what that's about and explaining, you know, the upcoming live trading call tonight as well. All right, so I'll just hand it over to Jim now. He doesn't seem to be in, guys. Oh, there he is. Sorry, did I surprise you, Jin? I'm sorry. I wasn't.
You did, buddy. You did. Wait, what am I going on about today?
It's the live trading call tonight and a little bit of the information on the Traders Club as well.
Well,
to fill you in.
I'll tell you what. The link is there. Can we put up the link again? And everyone who is on the call right now, click the link, get on board. And then you see it happen tonight. You see the magic happen tonight, and then we'll take it from there. Short and simple. Easy does it. That's what you get when you catch me by surprise. I was just leaning back, enjoying the call, and then I get caught to action.
Now, also, there was a question from Vernon. Let me share the YouTube channel. So I might just quickly share the screen now for that, just because I want everyone to, we've still got quite a few people on the call here. So what I'll do, guys, is the YouTube.
While Scott is sharing that, Vernon, the recordings are all on YouTube there, but you can have the recordings or you can have it live tonight at 8 o'clock on the Traders Club. And I think Vernon's a club member already, so I'm watching out, Vernon. You better make sure you turn up tonight at 8 o'clock. Everyone else as well. I remember names like that, so I'm watching for all the names to turn up tonight.
That's right. We're going to take the role, guys. So accountability check. I'll be making sure.
Take action to make it happen.
All right. But guys, that is the end of the call for Monday today. Thank you for watching as well, and hope to see everyone tonight and everyone also tomorrow morning as well for the Euro analysis. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Click on the link.